भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयामदेवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ. O gods, may we always hear with our ears what is auspicious. O worshipful ones, may we with our eyes always see what is auspicious. May we live our allotted life hale and hearty, offering our worship unto Thee. May Indra of ancient fame bestow auspiciousness on all of us. May the all-nourishing portion be propitious to all of us. May Garuda, the destroyer of all evil, be well disposed towards all of us. May Brihaspati ensure all our welfare. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto all. We have practically come to the end of this Amrita Bindu Upanishad. The Rishi, the Guru, is advising the disciple in through the example of churning. There is a beautiful story in the Bhagavatam which I will come later on, and for that he is giving certain examples. In the earlier mantra, we have seen how there may be hundreds of cows with different colors, but what they yield is absolutely the same. The milk is the same, there is no distinction. So there may be a billion objects in this world, but every object represents, first of all, there is astitvam, existence. And whatever exists can only be experienced through knowledge. So that is called chit. And every object in this world, living as well as non-living, produces what we call an reaction within us. And not only it produces a reaction, every object produces different reactions in different people. Every object produces different reactions in the same person. Sri Ramakrishna used to give a beautiful example that when we are children, then dolls, playthings are the most precious things in the world. But when we grow up, they all take a back seat. We do not care anymore. But when we are children, simply our life, pancha pranas, will be there only in those things. And our happiness, unhappiness lies only how these things are kept. So, giving this example of the cows, that is to say, every action that we go through. Many times I have emphasized, and it is the greatest contribution of not only Sri Krishna, not only Sri Rama, not only Krishna, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Ramakrishna. The word Maya has to be totally differently interpreted in the lexicology of Sri Ramakrishna. It is not something which is there to delude us. It is something that is there to train us, to bring us up. So Avidya Maya in Advaitic language is called prayas. But even Mundaka Upanishad confirms, even prayas means worldly desires. How many? Dharma, Artha and Kama. These three combined together is called prayas. And these prayas in Advaitic terminology, it represents to us an obstacle. No. When a master wants to train his students, he deliberately creates obstacles. Sometimes you must have heard obstacle race. And it is deliberately done, not to hurt or harm, but to help the players become stronger and even more resilient than anything else. We have to understand that. So if we understand the teachings of the Upanishads properly, and we can only understand through an incarnation of God or a realized soul. But there are so many acharyas come, and as Swami Vivekananda very aptly remarked, they want to push their own agenda. So Madhvacharya wants to contradict other statements contrary to his understanding. Ramanuja wants to contradict everybody accepting his own views. Shankara is also a great master. We are not saying that they are wrong. We are saying that they should not say this is the only truth. This is also a way to truth. And that is what every Upanishad crystal clearly wants to convey the message to us. So for that he is giving that if we have faith, this is a most fundamental understanding. Even an illiterate person can come to us, and if we are seeking, we will get what we seek, because God can manifest even through the most illiterate person. Even from the mouths of the babes, the highest truths can come. But the what is called responsibility is upon us. Am I really wanting it, or am I only professing that I want? Do I really want to progress in spiritual life? 99% of the people, they are only professionals, not really after God. Now, this is just a few remarks to understand this. We have discussed this one. That is to say that every scripture teaches the same truth. In that connection only I made the remark. But following Sri Ramakrishna's footsteps, I extended the meaning of the example. Every single experience that we have proves to the hilt that we have to go beyond the constraints of time, space, and causation. Desha kala nimitta. In other words, go beyond the mind. That is the crux of the matter, which is brought out again in mantras 20 and 21st. Ghritameva payasi nigodham bhute bhute vasati vijnanam satatam manthayitavyam manasa manthana bhutena. This was what we discussed actually, but there is a beautiful story, that's why I have brought it up. So like the butter hidden in milk, the pure consciousness resides in everything. So in Kena Upanishad makes it so beautifully clear. Pratibhava, every thought that arises within us indicates by the very rising of the thought. It reminds us we could not have been aware of the thought unless there is somebody who is endowed with that capacity to be aware, awareness, or in other words, pure consciousness. Like the butter, so each soul is potentially divine. I will come to that point very shortly. So this pure consciousness not only resides in every being, bhute bhute vijnanam vasati. Here the word vijnana means pure consciousness, or God in simpler languages, or Vishnu, vyapakatvat Vishnu, because he is everywhere. And often we fail to fathom even the meaning of this word Vishnu. Vyapakatva means what? He is everything. If God is everything, where do I stand? I do not exist at all. So, this pure consciousness is not only everything, not only everywhere, not only within every being, both living and non-living. How come? Suppose there is a mountain. According to modern thinkers, it is lifeless. And whatever is lifeless is what is called non-living. And whatever is non-living, it doesn't know. But Advaita Vedanta or Upanishadic Vedanta contradicts it completely. It says, what is the definition of Brahman? Sat, Chit, Anandam. Sat means existence. Does the mountain exist? Yes. And how do you know that it's a mountain? Because everything that exists is endowed with its particular knowledge. Nama, Rupa, Guna. Name, form, and quality. So this is a mountain. I have the knowledge. That is called the Chit aspect. Living or non-living. Everything that is existing is having that quality called being known. If a prani is there, he becomes a knower. But if it is an object, and that object will become being known, the capacity to be known goes along with the existence. And once we accept this one, as soon as I see a mountain or a tree or an animal, a river, anything, it provokes a special thought. Suppose it is summer, there is a beautiful river flowing. What would be the thought? Even one doesn't jump into the river, but one feels like staying there for some time, swimming and enjoying it. If one encounters a tiger, whether it is after the person or not, many times it is not after the person. Why? Because it also has a tremendous intelligence. It looks one look at you and says, not worth the trouble. Anyway, so in your mind, in our mind, in my mind, everybody's mind, there is a reaction. That reaction is towards avoidance of suffering and acquisition of happiness. And therefore, it is called Ananda Swarupa. So Brahman is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma or Sat Chit Ananda. And therefore, living or non-living, according to the Upanishadic teachings, everything is Brahman, God, and that is the inner meaning of Prahlada's story, as I mentioned. But what stands? Ignorance. That ignorance in the Prahlada story is represented by the pillar. Is God in this pillar? Not only he is in the pillar, he is the pillar. Without pillar, a house doesn't stand. Without ahankara, I do not exist, you do not exist, nobody, nothing exists. So, this pure consciousness, this is Advaitic terminology. In devotees' language, my God, my Ishtadevata, my chosen deity, my Rama, my Krishna, my Ramakrishna, Bhute Bhute Vasati Vijnanam. He is there everywhere. But I do not see him. Yes. Because of what? Because of Ajnanam. I don't have neither Jnanam, much less Vijnanam. I have got Ajnanam, absence of or misunderstanding. How to bring it out? Just as ghee has to be brought out. It is there. Nobody sees the ghee. But by churning it, turn it into what is called yogurt, curds, and then make it come out by churning. That churning is a beautiful word. Satatam manthaitavyam. And what does it mean in this context? In this, it means Guru instructs you. It could be a mantra. It could be Aham Brahmasmi. That is called Mahavakya Shramana. It doesn't matter. You go on repeating. There's a beautiful story that a villager wanted to see God. And the compassionate Guru, seeing his fitness, he gave him God's, Brahman's mantra. But that person could not meditate. He became restless. And the Guru understood his own mistake. And he said, what do you love? I love my buffalo. Okay. So consider Brahman manifesting as your buffalo. No problem. And this fellow went. It is a door with a very low dimension. One has to crawl to enter, but once a person enters, he can sit comfortably. And hours passed, like Totapuri, going in search of Sri Ramakrishna. He never expected Sri Ramakrishna will be sitting like a stone for 3 days continuously, and it was Totapuri who woke him up. So this Guru went and woke this person up, called him and said, come out. And the disciple excused himself and said, Guruji, I want to come for showing God to me, but I am unable to come. Why? Because my horns have grown so huge. That means he became completely identified with his buffalo. And this is the secret. Practically no religion will ever teach. You meditate upon anything you like. Meditate upon a flower, meditate upon a root of a tree, meditate upon a piece of paper. It doesn't matter what you meditate upon. But completely be focused, and in course of time, it will lead you to that chittavritti, state of chittavritti nirodha, and what remains is tada drashtu swarupe avasthana. This is what he is. But how to do it? Satatam manthayavatavyam. If the Guru initiated you into Ishtadevata mantra, Krishna Rama, go on praying and transforming your life accordingly, and ultimately it is only Sharanagati. Sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam. So only God alone has to be taken shelter in. And this process is called manthana. Just as house ladies in India, they churn the buttermilk so that butter can come out, it can float. Ramakrishna's famous analogy that once you realize God, you will be butter. Thereafterwards, you can keep that butter in water and it will never again get mixed up. Meaning, even if we are in this world, even in the midst of a terrible war, like a soldier, Sri Krishna was giving this example. So, Mam Smaran Yudhyacha, remembering me that not you are fighting, but I am fighting. I am fighting against whom? Against myself actually, because nothing else exists excepting myself. But the mind must be made a fit instrument. Manthana bhutena means it must be a beautiful, fit churning rod. Without that churning rod, it is not possible. This is called chittavritti nirodha. This is called uddharet atmanam atmanam. So one has to control one's own mind, and this particular mantra is reflected. This is what Swami Vivekananda is teaching everybody. Each soul is potentially divine. So what? The goal of life of everybody, sooner or later, is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. That is, by controlling the mind. And so, mind only reflects externally, mind only reflects internally too. And this yoga can be practiced. Do this either by work. If it is through work, it is called karma yoga. If it is through worship, it is called bhakti yoga. If it is psychic control, it is called Raja yoga or Patanjali yoga. And if it is through intellect or philosophy, it is called Jnana yoga, by one or more, or combine all of this together, but be free. This is the meaning of it. Now, 21st mantram. Jnananetram samadaya uddharet vanivat param nishkalam nischalam shantam tad brahma aham iti smrutam. Again, same idea. How, as we go on churning the mind, that is, the mind becomes purer and purer. And as Sri Ramakrishna says, a pure mind is nothing but Shuddha Man, Shuddha Atma, Aki, Gnana Netram. This is called the eye of Gnana, beautifully expressed in our day-to-day hymn. In the fourth line of Khandana Bhavabandhana, Gnananjana Vimalanayana Vikshane Moha Jai. If we can look through this eye of knowledge, what does it reveal? The object of knowledge, who is none other than Vishnu. Vishnu is not a personal God. Vishnu is the all-pervading supreme reality. Only he goes by the name of Vishnu. So, Gnana Netram Samadaya. Once a person goes on meditating, manthana, churning means meditating, he will slowly develop a Gnana Netram. That is, a particular vision, angle of looking at everything. Uddharet Vannivat Param. Just as you know, this example is a very telling example. In the earlier days, people were accustomed to do yajnas and yagas, and they do not have match box and match sticks. And even if today, if they are there, this is not the way they have to do. They have to take a special kind of wood, and then there is a lower type of wood, and one piece of wood they keep below, and they make it shape like a small pointed stick, like a pencil, let us say, and go on churning it left and right and left and right, and then slowly it gets heated, and they put a small pieces of either small dried grass or small sticks or some pieces of paper, and slowly what you call dhuma, smoke starts coming, and very soon it catches fire, and once the sparks come out, they add some specially the what is called coconut fiber, dried coconut fiber, and then slowly the fire is kindled, and only with that fire the yajna fire had to be lighted up. This was the thing. This is what is telling in the next, what is called second half of the first line, Uddharet Vahinivat Param. Uddharet means what? Just as fire is hidden in the wooden sticks, but by rubbing, by churning continuously, the fire within comes out. So, Uddharet Vahinat Param. Param means each soul is potentially divine, and that divine, that divinity, slowly starts manifesting like fire manifests when we go on churning or rubbing one type of wood called arani. And then what is that Gnana Netram? Nishkalam. There are no two. Advayam. It is one without a second. Kalam means part. Nishkalam means partless. That means it is infinite. Finite is, this is finite, that is finite. So finite means countless number of small objects, but this is infinite. And Nischalam, because it is everywhere. Chalam means movement. Nischalam means without any movement. Where can it move? Only a finite thing can move from one point of space to another point of space. But that which is everywhere, it cannot move anywhere. That is why Nischalam. When the mind becomes absolutely motionless, then so much of peace will come. Even our deep sleep also gives so much of peace of mind. And then Shantam. That is when that peace which passes all understanding. This is Christian Jesus Christ's own words. What is he talking about? It is not what we call normally, we are hungry, we eat food, mind becomes peaceful. And we are tired, we take rest, mind becomes peaceful. There is a desire, we remove the desire, and mind becomes peaceful. No. This is something which can never be described in any way excepting by experiencing, through experience. Can you describe what experience you have when you are in deep sleep? Only another person who experiences that can really understand what it is. Shantam means that I am. Aham Brahmasmi. You can express it in myriad ways through these Upanishadic statements, and that is what in the next half of the second line is expressed. Tad Brahma Aham iti smrutam. So what type of experience this person had if he manages to make the mind absolutely pure? Then he obtains Jnananjana Vimalanayana and Vikshane. With that eye, the eye of knowledge, what does he see? Only God, nothing else but God. And that is why even Arjuna wanted to see Krishna with his own human eyes. A human eye sees even God as a human being. And a female human sees God as a female. An ant sees God as a big ant. A cow sees God as a huge cow. It can give oceans of milk. And a bull sees the strongest bull. That is why the word bully comes here. That is, the person becomes very arrogant. And there are so many bullies are there. And many men in the office, they get, their mouths are shut down. But they know if we go home, we can shut our wives' mouths. That used to be the case. Now it may be the other way around, I don't know. So we are fortunate that we don't have that experience. Either way, Nishkalam, Nischalam, Shantam, Tad Brahma Aham iti. Smrutam. Smrutam means the scriptures are teaching. This is the experience of people who have attained that Gnananetram. You see, everything depends upon how we look at it. And in modern psychological language, this is called CBT. Develop a type of attitude where whatever can happen outside, but you will remain like the depths of a deep ocean, where billions of water, weight of the water is pressing it down, but absolutely still. That stillness is not a unconscious stillness, but it is pure experience of the Shuddha Chaitanyam, Smrutam. Every Upanishad, every Purana, every Tantra, only they use different language. If it is Bhagavata Purana, you will see Vishnu everywhere. Sahasra Sirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishvato Ritva Atyatishta Dashangulam. In the form of stories, the highest truths are given. Take the example of Bali Chakravarti. So there, the Lord comes in the form of a dwarf, Vamana. And he asks, how much land? 3 pieces of 3 steps, only 3 steps. What are the 3 steps? I want your gross body, to occupy your gross body. I want to occupy your subtle body. I want to occupy your causal body. What remains of that poor fellow? He will become pure fellow, not poor fellow any longer. That is called Bali. Bali means complete surrender to the divine Lord. So then the Upanishad almost is coming to an end. Tad Brahma Ahamite Smruta. This is the essence. This is the quintessence of all Upanishad. This is called Vedanta. Vedanta is not Advaita Vedanta. Vedanta means the very essence of the Vedas. So in this 20 and 21st, the very emphasis is what you call upon churning. So you churn the milk, first convert it into yogurt and then go on churning, and this becomes clarified butter. You can make beautiful preparations, tasty preparations. You can light any number of lamps. You can use it in puja, and you can use it in every way, and it will only lead to the highest happiness. But this butter, one has to take the trouble to bring it out. Why was Krishna so much eulogized that he is a makhan chor? Why? What is he telling? That my son, that you obtained that divine knowledge. And that is the upama we have to take. Krishna sees God everywhere. Krishna sees himself everywhere. And I can quote, but just I will remind you, when Brahma had hidden, so Krishna, the friends of Krishna, Gopas, and then all the cows, and he did not have any understanding of Krishna. But Krishna immediately understood, and he wanted, you want to play a game? I am also game. I will also play with you. And he himself became, and then they all returned exactly as they used to return every single day, and then the Bhagavatam enters into ecstasies. I will twist a little bit to make it funny. Previously, the mothers used to pray to God again and again, let this devil, that means our son, come a little bit late, because if he comes, he will not give any peace of mind to me. So, the later he comes, the better for us. But that day, when Krishna himself became, they were running inside and outside. Where is my son? He is not coming. And the mother's breasts were filled with sweetest milk. So, this is the condition of mothers. Fathers were anxious. So, I don't think most of them liked their children at that time. But anyway, they used to look after. But even the cows, they were very anxious. The trees were anxious because somehow there is a sense, there is a joy filling them. So the Bhagavatam goes into ecstasy, if you want. This is how Brahma hides all the gopas and the cows, and that episode. And then later on, Brahma came to realize who Krishna was. And there is a beautiful hymn called Brahma Stotra. So, in this mantra, butter is always present in every drop of milk. That is important. That means each soul is potentially divine. So, the truth is present in every being. There is nothing which doesn't possess. But we are not able to experience it because the truth is covered with gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. We have to remove them. The process of manthana, churning, that is what is going to bring out. So, it also goes contrary to what the scriptures and Guru says. Guru says, you are not the body, you are not the mind. But we say, what type of teaching this person is giving? And especially if the Guru happens to be a huge body and eating a lot of breakfast and lunch, we have more doubts. But Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana has to be done. So in the olden times, as we have discussed it quite sufficiently, they used to bring a special type of food called arani, and one is kept below with a small hole, and then the other one like a pointed stick, and go on rubbing, and slowly first it gets heated, then smoke will come. So this is churning process. The whole sadhana, spiritual sadhana, is a churning process. What is the churning? That you throw away everything which is not essential. That is called churning. And so, as I promised earlier, is a beautiful story of Samudra Manthana. Beautiful significance is there, symbolism is there. Revered Swami Dayatmanandaji Maharaj, one day in a parlor talk, he had given this marvelous explanation, which I don't think I have heard from any other Swami. Probably some Swamis knew it, but I did not hear it. But Ranganathanji Maharaj explained. So briefly, we all know the story, and the gods and demons were always fighting, and both of them knew if we could somehow obtain and drink nectar, then we will be living almost forever, and then we'll be stronger. Victory will be ours. So Lord Vishnu, he gave them, now for the moment, forget about your quarrels, cooperate, because some other country is threatening you, you join together some pact, and you will get Amrita. And then both of them, both gods and demons thought, okay, we will pretend as if we will be friends. We will make friends, we will, what is called temporary ceasefire. And we will go on talking, but we will go on churning the milk ocean, Ksherasagara. And every time God has to give, because a huge mountain was necessary, the churning rod. And where do we get a strong enough rope? The Lord's Vahana. So that is the big 1,000-hooded serpent Vasuki itself became the rope. And then, I'm not going into the finest details, they started churning. And what came out? That is virulent poison called Hala Visha. And many people died, and they said, how are we going to continue this process? And then Lord advised them. So the best person is Lord Shiva. Shiva represents knowledge, of course. So he was a most compassionate person. This Vishnu is a tricky fellow. Whenever problems come, he will always send you to Shiva. When good things come, when Lakshmi came, he never invited Shiva and said, no, why that you also share this? No. That is meant only, Lakshmi is meant only for me. Kaustubha Mani came, it is only meant for me. So Airavata came, Uchchaisravasa had come, an elephant and a horse. They will be for my, what is called younger brother, or elder brother Indra. So this is how the Bhagavatam is trying to cover us up, but we are unable to find the deeper meaning. So who is holding it up? God himself in the form of a tortoise is holding up this mountain because the weight of the mountain was terrible. Somehow it went on. First came poison, and afterwards came most desirable things in the world, precious jewels, etc. And the description goes, Rishis, Munis, everybody was scrambling over each other. This is mine, this is mine, this is mine. I still remember that a ship was wrecked on the shores of Amsterdam, and so many things were coming floating. And the fellows who went there for enjoying an evening walk, they all left everything there, scrambled into the ocean, and whatever they could get, one fellow got even a what is called packed motorcycle. Vividly it is shown there. So you see, such is the temptations. But at the end came Dhanvantari with a pot, handed it over, and then the Rakshasas, they being strong, they snatched it away, and then the Devatas, they went moaning, complaining, Mummy, so the other fellows have taken away, what shall we do? Then Lord had to come in the form of Mohini, a most beautiful woman, and all the demons, they are fond of this bodily enjoyments. As soon as they saw a woman, they handed over that, and then she bestowed her beautiful smile, mesmerizing all the demons, but she was distributing the Amrita only for the divine, that is Devatas. So we know the story. This is the story. Now, what is the symbolism of it? Any effort at the beginning as Gaudapada himself tells us in the Mandukya Karika, first of all, so laya, we feel like sleeping before doing sadhana. Then we feel like the mind becomes scattered. That is the second stage, vikshepa. Third is, it becomes, the spiritual practice becomes like kashaya. But in the end comes the greatest bliss, joy, finite things, which we can detract us from our final destination. And that is when we have to be extremely careful. So these are called obstacles in the progress of our spiritual journey. So as soon as poison, what is poison? I don't want God. The world is beautiful. It can give me, that is what I am seeking. But a real sincere sadhaka should not give up. What should he bring? He surrender himself to Shiva. Shiva represents discrimination. Shiva represents knowledge. Knowledge at first in the form of discrimination, viveka, vairagya, shamadamadi shatka sampatti. And Shiva, out of infinite compassion, drank it, but he is maintaining the world. So it is said he just kept it only on the edge, just below the mouth. So his throat had become blue, that's why he is called. So Neela Kantha. Kantha had become Neela because of the poison. What is the symbolism? That any good endeavor is what is called filled with a lot of obstacles. Shreyamsi bahu vignani. Many obstacles will come. If you want to do something nasty, then very few obstacles will come. Because going downhill is very easy. So, the spiritual endeavor of a person to achieve self-realization through concentration of mind and a determined will. I will never give it up, even in the process if I die also. And this, who are doing this? Devas and Asuras. What do they represent? The Devas represent, as we said, all the good spiritual samskaras. And the Asuras represent all the uncontrolled worldly desires, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, etc. And they are fighting each other. And so a divided mind cannot be concentrated. So therefore, everything has got a particular role. For example, kama is very good. I want only God. Krodha is very good. I will be angry with anything that tries to stop my spiritual progress. Lobha, I only want God, as much of God as possible. The entirety of God only I want. I will not be satisfied with a little bit of this. So moha, I am enamored of God only. Mada, I am proud to be called a devotee. Sri Ramakrishna chides many devotees. Why are you feeling ashamed? People will say, this fellow is dancing in the name of God. Is he a civilized person? Let them talk. So, then Matsarya. Matsarya means jealousy. Marvelous quality. So, when we see, oh, that person is doing more japam than me. That person is controlling his mind more than me. I am very jealous of that person. I will not allow him to surpass me. I will be controlling my mind more than him. I will be doing more japam more than him. I will compete with him. This kind of positive attitude to what we normally call the negative moods of human beings, and that is most useful, and Hinduism excels in it. So, Gopyah Kamat, Bhayat Kamsaha, Kaishat, Shishpaladayah, Bhagavatam itself says, through these very negative things, it is only if they are directed towards God, God will be obtained sooner. And Jaya Vijaya, they consciously adopted the means, these so-called kama, krodha, bhaya, advesha, etc., so that they are impatient to rejoin the Lord. We cannot wait for 6 human births. We want to go within 3 births itself. So, what is this Manthara mountain symbolizes? Concentration. The word Manthara is made up of Mana and Dhara. Keep the mind, hold the mind, control the mind. And then, who is Manthara is very, very heavy, uncontrollable. Mind is uncontrollable. Who is going to help us? Well, you pray to God and He will help us. Sri Ramakrishna used to have a vision in this way that a Paramahamsa, appearing exactly like myself, used to appear with a trident and threaten me, whenever your mind deviates from thinking of the Divine Mother's lotus feet, I will pierce you with this Trishula. So, in the form of tortoise, he only upheld. And Vasuki means what? The tremendous power which can withstand until we realize God, we require tremendous amount of power. And power is sustained only by intense desire, which Ramakrishna used to call Vyakulata, Tivra Vyakulata. So, these are the some of the what is called symbolic significances. What is the essence of it? That finally, if we do not give it up, the whole mind must become one, and then ultimately the potential divinity will come up. Even then temptations might come, but God will come and protect us. Complete self-surrender to the Divine Lord, that alone makes it possible for us even to undertake sadhana and to progress and to succeed in having the vision of God and become one with God. This is beautifully illustrated by Ramanujacharya. These are with the 6 characteristics of Sharanagati. But most important for us is the life of Totapuri graphically describes. He failed to understand. It is the Divine Mother's grace that made him really possible to attain it. So each soul is potentially divine, and so if we work, but with a prayerful attitude and try to pray to God, and then by His grace, Sharanagata Deenartha Paritrana Parayane Sarvasya Arti Hare Devi Narayane Namostute. So this beautiful story, Manthana, means yoga. Try to control the mind, but with the attitude, I will not succeed, only your grace can make it possible. And then the last mantra, 22nd, it concludes in this Amrita Bindu Upanishad, Sarva Bhutadi Vasamyat, Bhuteshu cha Vasatyapi, Sarvanugrahakatvena, Tadasmyaham Vasudevaha iti. So in whom reside all beings, and who resides in all beings by virtue of his being the grantor of grace to everybody. I am that soul of the universe, I am that supreme being, I am that Brahman, I am that Vasudeva. Vasudeva means he who is everywhere. So Sarva Bhuta Adhivasam is not only in me. Is he in a piece of stone? Yes. If we have the eyes to see, yes. Is there any place where he is not? If a pillar can contain Bhagavan, why not a piece of stone, etc., etc.? So that highest reality alone exists. Nothing else exists. And the whole universe is nothing but our way, through the lens of our mind, which is consisting of time, space and causation, when we are seeing the same one reality with Nama, Rupa, Guna, name, form and qualities, that is called Jagat. So Sarva Bhuta Adhivasam, Yat, that which is pervading all beings, like clay pervades every pot, like gold pervading every ornament, like wood pervading every piece of furniture, there is no inside or outside. Bhuteshu cha vasatyapi. This is called Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Everything, not only I realize I am Brahma, and with that there is nothing else, and if something appears, that is also Brahman only. Sarva Anugraha Katvena. And here, the crux of the matter is, Bhagavan is Anugrahaka. So he alone has the power to bestow the grace. Nobody else has got. Guru Kripa is also God's Kripa. But his Kripa, God's grace, is not confined only to a few people. Whatever happens in this world, Sarva Mangala Mangalye, he is bestowing his grace even on what is called inorganic matter. He is preparing the inorganic matter so that it can become manifest with life and ultimately become a human being, ultimately turn towards God by going through the Brahmacharya Ashrama, Grihastha Ashrama, Vanaprastha Ashrama, and finally Sannyasa Ashrama, and realize. What does he realize? Tadasmyaham Vasudevaha. Tat Vasudevaha aham asmi. I am that Vasudeva. And this is what Bhagavad Gita, being the essence of all Upanishads, it is also going to tell us. So, Bahunam Janmanamante. At the end of so many lives of spiritual practice, a person will obtain a knowledge. What knowledge? Vasudeva Sarvam Iti. Everything is God only. That means I do not exist, you do not exist, nothing else exists, only God exists. And that one existent reality is termed as Vasudeva. Tadasmyam Vasudeva Iti. So, the Upanishad has come to an end with this 22nd mantra. So, he realizes, I am Brahma. Here, instead of Vasudeva, we have to understand, it is nothing but Brahma. And what is the essence of any Upanishad? That which takes us to the reality called Brahman, that knowledge that I am Brahman. So, that is what it is. Incidentally, there is a beautiful story in Bhagavatam. At the time of Krishna, a contemporary, there was a king. His name was Paundraka. And he was starting thinking that I am Krishna Vasudeva. And this fellow who is the son of Nanda and Yashoda, or Devaki and Vasudeva, he is a fake. I am the real one. So he acquired some wooden chakra, wooden kirita, wooden gada, because if it is iron, he doesn't have the power even to lift it up. He dressed himself like an actor, and he really believed that I am Vasudeva. What is he thinking? I am Vasudeva, I am Vasudeva, I am Vasudeva, I am Vasudeva. Like Kamsa used to think, oh, here Krishna comes, here, he is coming, here. Anybody he sees is only appearing as Krishna. He is coming to kill me. And in his dreams, he sees only Krishna. How blessed that person is. So, Krishna went there, killed him, and this Paundraka had become Krishna because he was thinking only Krishna. Paundraka means every seeker is a Paundraka. First it starts, I am a servant, you are my master. Second, I am your child, part of you, and you are Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva. And then finally, Aham Brahmasmi Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. So I am Vasudeva, I am Satchidananda, etc. Whenever any Upanishad repeats the same line twice and ends with iti thus, it means that particular chapter or that particular topic has come to an end. And with this, the Amrita Bindu Upanishad has also come to an end. Now I will give you a brief summary of Amrita Bindu Upanishad. So, as I mentioned earlier, each soul is potentially divine. The goal, the only goal, there is no other goal, is to manifest this divinity within by control nature, external and internal, that is practice of yoga. And the goal can be reached through karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raja yoga or jnana yoga by one or more. But there is nothing called exclusively one. All must be combined. So one will be dominant. And then one realizes and be free. That is all the religion. This is the theme of every Upanishad. The science of Brahma Vidya, attainment of my own nature and abide in my own nature. That is what every Upanishad, every scripture, every Purana, every Tantra is teaching. So if we practice it, and ultimately we come to that by the grace of God. So Amrita Bindu Upanishad is one of the 5 Bindu Upanishads found in the Atharvana Veda. The others, as I mentioned at the beginning, Nada Bindu, Brahma Bindu, Tejo Bindu, Dhyana Bindu, and this is Amrita Bindu. All these 5 are considered as minor Upanishads. There is nothing called minor or major. Every Upanishad tells the truth, thou art that, Tattvamasi. So it has got 22 mantras. Mantras 1 to 5 speak of the nature of the mind, pure and impure, and all bondage or liberation is only because of the mind, not because of anything else, and how to make our mind purer through particular sadhana, and when we control our mind, what would be our reward, and how our sadhana fructifies into perfection. This is mantras 1 to 5. Destruction of the mind, how to keep the mind completely free from all what is called worldly samskaras, is the subject matter of mantra 6 to 9. Then, what to meditate upon? Characteristics of Brahman, non-dual Brahman. This is dealt with from mantras 10 to 16. And then, okay, you spoken about Brahman, but I am a Jivatma. No. You are the Atma and you are coming from that Paramatma. So you are not different from that Paramatma. So the knowledge of Aham Vasudevaha, so Samaha Atma Sudurlavaha, this is the essence of mantras 17 to 22nd. Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Adityavarnam Tamasah Parastat Tameva Viditva Atimrutyumeti Nanya Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya. And by the grace of God, we have successfully completed these 22nd mantras. Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunayama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshaviryajatraha Sthirairangai Stushtuvagum Sastanubihi Yashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddhashavaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastarksho Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspati Dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om. O gods, may we always hear with our ears what is auspicious. O worshipful ones, may we with our eyes always see what is auspicious. May we live our allotted life hale and hearty, offering our worship unto Thee. May Indra of ancient fame bestow auspiciousness on all of us. May the all-nourishing potion be propitious to all of us. May Garuda, the destroyer of all evil, be well disposed towards all of us. May Brihaspati ensure all our welfare. Om. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. May Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, and Swami Vivekananda bless us all with Bhakti. Jai Ramakrishna. And what we are going to take up next, we will announce in a few days' time. Jai Ramakrishna.